Police officers accused of the murder of 16-year-old Nathaniel Julies in Eldorado Park in Southern Johannesburg will remain in custody. They were denied bail today. Magistrate David Mhango delivered the bail judgment earlier today at the Protea Magistrates Court in Soweto. Simon Ndyalvane, Caylene Whiteboy and Foster Netshiongolo are facing charges of murder, being in possession of prohibited ammunition, as well as defeating the ends of justice. Let's catch up now with the independent Police Investigative Directorate, or IPID, that investigates alleged police misconduct. To discuss, we're joined by Executive Director at IPID, Jennifer Ntlatseng. Ms. Ntlatseng, thank you for joining us. You say the trio being denied bail today sends a very strong message. Tell us more.
Yes, good evening to you and your listeners. I must commend my team for reacting very swiftly to this case, and we are actually sending a very strong message to the police out there who are found doing wrong things, and who will definitely act like we've done with Eldorado Park. So this is the approach that we want to take from now on, to make sure that we act very swiftly and win community confidence in the justice system.
Yeah. Well, explain IPID's role in a case like this. So you're doing the investigating, but the state prosecutes.
Yes, what we do, remember we are established in terms of the IPID Act of 2011. So we are tasked with the following investigations. 1, death in custody. 2, it's around any death as a result of police action. 3 is around pointing of firearm by the police. And then 4 is rape by a police officer. 5, it's around torture. And 6, it's around assault, corruption. So this is our responsibility. So if we find that any police has contravened or have contravened any clause in our act, we definitely are arresting. Yeah. And this is what we're doing.
The evidence in this case, how strong is it? Do you believe there will be one or more convictions here of murder?
We believe that there will be convictions, either of the 3 of them, because remember they were charged with 3 counts. So the 3 of them, we definitely are certain that they're going to be convicted.
And how easy has it been to get to the bottom of the matter? I mean, this is because one of the charges here is obstruction of justice. According to IPID, how did these officers collude to hide evidence or prevent the truth coming to light? And how hard was it for IPID to get to the bottom of what really happened?
You know, the difficulty right now is not to, it's that we are unable to comment on the matter, because the matter is sub judice. So because the minute you start talking about it in the media, it can be used by their attorneys or advocates to our disadvantage. So we'd rather not go in on the matter itself. Rather, we would just say that we are confident that the information that we've submitted, as well as evidence that has already been given, is actually pointing in the right direction.
Can you comment generally? Because there's clearly something wrong here. One officer claims she didn't know there was live ammunition in her gun. 2 have turned against one of the suspects, saying he's intimidating them. Do you often have cases like this where officers are scared, maybe even of some of their colleagues?
Yes, in one instance you'll find that especially when they have covered up each other, and then when we do our investigation, extensive investigation, we pick up that there are serious challenges, and this is what they do on a daily basis. Sorry for that.
No problem. You take your time, have a little cough there, and overall, I'd like to stay with this point, because it's really put the spotlight on dirty cops, and the community was outraged. We saw protests in Eldorado Park. Since then, many have spoken out about how they feel that police officers are often the enemies of communities like Eldorado Park. We know some women in South Africa scared of being pulled over by police, huge problems with trust. In light of that, how many officers are being investigated in a year generally? What percentage of officers are involved in criminal activity?
You know, it's around 40%, I must say. There are good cops out there who work with us, and there are good cops out there who will also whistleblow about the activities of other police officers. So there are officers who, as IPID, want to deal with them because we are trying to root out this corrupt element within the system.
Yeah.
So
but did you say 40% of cops could be corrupt or criminalized?
5%, I must say.
And that is a staggering figure, Mr. Ntlatseng.
I beg yours?
That is a staggering figure. Are we soaring in that?
40% over the number of years, this is what we are picking up.
That is incredible. I mean, compared to other countries, is that a very high number? That means we're heading towards every 1 in 2 cops being dirty.
Not necessarily 1 in 2, but maybe 1 in 6. Probably if I say 25%, you'll be comfortable. But this is what we're picking up. And it's happening on a month-to-month basis. If you listen to provinces reporting their cases, you realize that we are having serious problems here. Hence, we are now coming up with some proactive approach of professionalization of police service and see what is it that we can do to assist them to deal with these challenges that they have around brutality. And the National Commissioner says, work with me as IPID so that I can deal with those corrupt elements within the system, or let's also go to colleges and educate the ones that are enrolled at the colleges and see how best can we influence their mindset so that they behave in a good manner.
All right, so no wonder trust is low, but the work that IPID does very important there. Thank you very much for your time. That was IPID Executive Director Jennifer Ntlatseng.